Students, today we will discuss the topic causes of the French Revolution. So here you see the French Revolution started in the year 1789. The series of events which was started by the middle class shook the upper class. Okay, the people revolted against the cruel regime of the monarchy. The revolutions began on 14th July 1789 with the storming of the fortress prison called the Bastille. So there wasn't one event or condition you can know that led to the French Revolution, but rather a number of factors, okay, that came together to cause a perfect storm leading to the revolt of the people against the king. So here we can see what are the political, as it has been written here, what are the political, social, economic, very important causes or conditions in France contributed to the discontent felt by many French people, especially those of the third estate. So when we talk about the political causes, here you can see absolute monarchy and the failure of Louis XVI, because revolt or revolution started during the period of Louis XVI. As the social causes, you can see there was a rigid social structure, as it was divided into three estates, and then there was an emergence of a middle classes. And when we talk about the economic, there was a financial crisis, okay, and if we talk about the intellectual, there was a spread of enlightenment which will be discussed here. So let's start with the absolute monarchy. So in France, as in most other European nations, there was an absolute monarchy. Okay, it was a monarchy. When we talk about the absolute monarchy, it was a form of government that was popular during medieval Europe and up until the end of the 18th century. Okay, it involves society being ruled. If we talk about the society or state, it is being ruled by a powerful king or queen. The monarch had complete control over all aspects of society, either it is including the political power, economy, and any form of the authority. Okay, that this absolute monarchy we can best see in this Louis. If we talk about the time of the revolution, okay, here the name of three rulers, as you can see, Louis XIV, Louis XV, and Louis XVI. So here the absolute monarchy can be best be seen in the word of Louis XIV when he proclaimed that I am the state, where he was expressing his absolute control over the society, therefore was the highest and powerful authority of the state. If we talk about Louis' absolute monarchy, it contained two key features. One, we talk about the hereditary rules. Another one is the divine right, that we can see in the Louis XV and in the reign of the Louis XVI, which believe in these two features or in these two powers. Here hereditary means that the monarch received the position due to their birth, as well as in the medieval Europe, absolute monarch derived her power from God. So whatever power they are getting by birth or from God. So it ensured that the king or queen did not get the power from the people, as we can see in the democracy. Okay, so therefore the people had no control or say over the monarch rule, and if they do so, they will be punished or prison. So when we talk about one of the most famous monarch of French history was the Louis XVI. Okay, is the last divine right absolute king who reigned on France before the French Revolution, which was to the cause of the fall of the monarchy. When we talk about Louis XVI, he was considered to be somewhere incompetent and somewhere with a little ability to rule effectively. Okay, being someone who preferred to hunt or locksmith rather than engaged with the politics. That has been mentioned here, not interested in politics, incapable of taking decision or decisive action, ignored economic problem because he was not interested in that, and then somewhere he was influenced by Marie Antoinette. So he was indecisive and allowed matter to drift. He paid little attention to his government advices and little patience for the detail of governing. The queen added only problem to him. She often interfered. If we talk Marie Antoinette, she often interfered in the government matters and frequently offered poor advice to him. Further, she was a member of the royal family of Austria, France's long-time enemy. That's why she was very unpopular from the moment. As she set foot in France, her behavior only made the situation worse. Okay? As queen, she spent so much money on gowns, jewelries, gambling and gifts that she became known as Madame Deficit. So you see, the French monarchy was financially in trouble since the end of the reign of Louis XIV. Okay, so here you can see that the war against many powerful European countries has left the country into great debt that even increased by the expenses of the crown. So here Louis XV, he succeeded Louis XIV. His foreign policy weakened the economic condition of France. He fought 7-year war against England, okay, which brought nothing to France. France became bankrupt to other expenditure in war and luxury. So you can see King Louis XV and Louis XVI did not manage to stop the war campaign in spite of their proclaimed will of peace. Okay, even Louis XV in 1778 decided to support the American Revolution as it helped 13 American colonies to gain independence from Britain, who was their common enemies. So this was a terrible blow to the old economy of France. To get rid of this situation, of this condition, Louis XVI appointed Turgot, Jacques Necker and Calonne. Okay, you can see Turgot, he tried to minimize the expenditure of the royal court. He also advised the king to impose taxes on every class, on each of the state of the society, but due to the interference of again Marie Antoinette, he was dismissed. Okay, then Necker was appointed as the finance minister in 1776. He published a report on income and expenditure in order to arouse the people. Okay, but he was again dismissed. Within 3 to 4 months, he was also dismissed. The next person who was appointed by the king was the finance minister of France in 1783 was Calonne. He adopted the policy of, he just suggested that he adopted the policy of borrowing money in order to meet the expenditure of the royal court. But due to the policy, the national debt of France, if we talk about borrowing money from other, only what was the consequence? That's that the national debt of France increased from 300 million to 600 million francs only in 3 years. Okay, then Calonne proposed that to impose taxes on all the classes, okay, but he was dismissed by the king. Okay, in this you can see, in this situation, the king at the last summoned the State General's meeting, and this economic instability formed the most important cause of the French Revolution. During the reign of monarch in France, you know, there was 3 estates, as it is mentioned here. First estate, second estate and third estate. Okay, 2 of the estate had privileges, and their which including access to, they were in higher post, okay, and exemption from paying taxes. They are exempt of paying taxes. Okay, that were not granted to the third estate. The government spent a lot of money, which expenditure was very high. Then they put forth high taxes. As you know, the tax system was unjust because the third estate had to pay all the taxes. And again a new burden of taxes was put forward to this estate. The peasants were the victim to the heavy taxation. Louis XVI tried to reform the taxation, as we saw here also, okay, but the nobility and the clergy refuses to accept any new reform. Therefore, the king was unable to make any financial reform or decisions. Already, so many taxes was imposed to this state. The gabelle tax on salt was very unpopular tax. Okay, when Turgot tried to impose the corvée taxes, which is on the land and property, it was also opposed by the nobilities. Okay, and he failed to pass corvée taxes. So when we talk about this third estate was the most discontented class. Here you can see emergence of new group in the third estate, that was of the bourgeoisie, okay, or you can say it is a middle class, bourgeoisie or the middle class. So in this class you can were the bankers, factory owners, merchant, professional and skilled artisan. These were in this group, and you can see that they were well educated and strongly believed in the Enlightenment ideas of liberty and equality. Although some of the bourgeoisie were as rich as noble and they paid high taxes, but like other state they were lacked of privileges. Okay, so new idea of enlightenment caused citizen from the third estate to begin to question the estate system, and this helped lead to the outbreak of the revolution. So you can see a book published in 1789 by Emmanuel, title here, What is the Third Estate? As they believed that they were entitled to play a role in the government, this group. This book was not only the expression of this idea, as there was a flood of similar pamphlet and essays circulating the nation in early 1789. Now comes the idea of enlightenment. When we talk about the ideas of liberty and equality, that were needed for what? That were needed to overthrow Louis XVI, emerged from the writing of this enlightenment, especially the writing of John Locke, okay, Rousseau and Montesquieu, greatly influenced the revolutionaries in France. So when we talk about the enlightenment, what is enlightenment? A period when a new kind of thinking arose. It involved the use of reason. When we talk about the France, the time in France when divine right was questioned, okay, and a radical movement violently overthrew the monarchy. Okay, here there was a questioning about the divine rights, about the monarchy, and there was a radical movement, as you saw, which overthrew the monarchy, is known as the French Revolution. When we talk about these three, John Locke, Rousseau and Montesquieu, these three thinkers, questions of the traditional authority, especially when we see here that John Locke challenged the traditional form of government, especially the monarchy and the divine right. Okay, and then we talk about, even you see Rousseau, which opposed the rigid class system or the state system present in France. Okay, this inspired the revolutionaries and ordinary citizen of France. The ideas were commonly discussed. Now these ideas, if we talk about, these ideas were commonly discussed and debated in the Salon of France, in which intellectuals would gather to discuss the idea of the day. If we talk about John Locke, argued that the leader may only govern a society if he has the consent of those he is governing, as we see in the democracy also. When we elect the people, or when we elect the representative, it rules through the consent of the people. The idea caused people to question the legitimacy of Louis XVI to rule when he did not have the support of many of the citizens within France. So why he is ruling? Then Rousseau argued against all class division of society, okay, which caused French citizens to question the absolute monarchy of Louis XVI and the unequal nature of the state. Finally, Montesquieu advocated a system of government based on separation of power within three branches of government, the division of power including the executive, the judiciary and the legislative. The model of government directly challenged the authority of the king because it involved his power being divided, okay, into three parts and other gaining more authority. It means division of power between these three. Again, the idea caused French citizens to begin to question the authority of their own king and to begin to think of other ways of government. The impact of this enlightenment, you can see, of the French Revolution can be seen in the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizens.